If you enjoyed our previous episode, she saved up 100,000 and moved to Jeju, I've invited Demi back. I'm going to ask a bit more on the visa. I'm also going to ask a bit more on her journey towards 100,000, just in case you want a bit more depth to it. So without further ado, let's get Demi to answer this first question on visa. Hi Demi, welcome in.
Hello. I was looking at the comments also.
Yeah, some ask, hey, how come can stay there with what visa? I also don't know answer.
On my own video also, everybody keep asking that. I keep repeating.
So it's a 3-month visa also. Like,
Not a visa, it's just that our passport allows us to stay for 3 months.
oh,
Correct. Then I think other countries is the same 1 month. Like if we go to Bangkok, it's also 1 month.
then
Oh.
how to stay until February like that?
I go in Japan now.
Oh, so it's like that count one. So once you
Correct.
re-enter.
Yes. You
Oh,
re-enter, then you restart again.
That's smart.
Yeah. Then
Oh,
Japan tickets is not very expensive also. Like my one-way flight is 100.
No, you should take a train to North Korea, even better.
I don't know whether they count that as like a reset or not.
It can go not North Korea. It's like
They have the DMZ zone where you can go and then you can see North Korea. But if you want to go into the country itself, you have to pre-arrange, pre-book everything. So they do have tours to North Korea.
you dare to go or not?
I don't have
No, you don't go and film lah. You just go there and I don't know,
experience, right?
the experience and agree with them. You must, yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's the you get shot. Wow, the jialat already. But is it gonna be much cheaper if you fly from Jeju over?
I'm going to okay, both. It's not much of a difference. Like Seoul also has flights. Jeju also have direct flights, but the difference is only like $20-$30.
To North Korea?
Oh,
Or
to North Korea, to Japan. I thought you were
to
talking to
Japan? Oh, okay.
yeah.
Japan, Singaporeans a lot lah, but North Korea, wow, that one very
Oh,
exotic.
yeah.
Or maybe
Interesting.
Mongolia. Yeah, like from where you are to Mongolia is like 2 hours flight. Somewhere
Oh.
exotic also.
Will you plan to go such places?
I got kids already lah. So it's like I wish I travel, to exotic places more when I was 27. But now
Actually,
I
do you
bring
have those
them.
desires?
Huh?
Like at this current stage of life, right? Do you have those like personal desires that you want to fulfill?
Oh, we went to Mexico.
Wow.
After wedding. So US Mexico. So
Mm.
it's like I push for it because I know quite clearly once we are settled, we can't go too far already.
Wow.
So not everything else is too far for flight with 2 young boys. So I'm stuck with maximum Japan.
6 hours. I think that is difficult enough.
Difficult enough. So Europe, I get vetoed. US, I get vetoed also. So places even like Mongolia or even nearer Cambodia, Laos, this kind of exotic places, also not kid friendly. Right?
Some people ask, right? Like based on like what we do, we enjoy what we do. Then like there are different people who in different stage of life, they'll think like, hey, actually like we got no life. That kind of thing. Like we don't enjoy. But actually little did they know that actually we are enjoying what we do. Like it doesn't feel like work to us.
So that
Yeah.
part is they're too used to the 9 to 5 mindset, maybe.
That's true.
As content producers, we have a lot of flexibility and creativity. Yeah. That's our strength. Right?
Yes.
Demi, our last collaboration, we discussed about your journey towards 100,000. And I'd like to lead our entire discussion today because I saw this post. I'm a male turning 30 soon, single, and I don't have social life. I've managed to amass $100,000 or so, but I'm still unhappy and mildly depressed. Is this normal? And how do I find joy in life? What are your first thoughts?
First is maybe no hobby. No, I mean, but kudos to him for turning 30 and being able to amass 100,000 plus. There's still a plus behind. Like even for my own journey, reaching 100,000 during the time of reaching the journey itself was, I wouldn't say entirely meaningless or not, like you don't indulge or you don't have moments where you are able to spend and be like gain your happiness from there. So I think more like myself personally, I don't, like I mentioned on the day in the life thing, I don't really go out much with friends also. So like as you grow older, there are only like a handful of people whom you always spend time with. So most of the time, maybe that's why we are able to amass such an amount at this age. I think maybe for most, being able to reach 100,000, the one thing that is consistent is no social life.
Is your clique those who like to go out and party or eat good food?
Eat good food, yes. Party, not really. Like we don't drink, we don't go clubbing, that kind. Yeah.
So the social circle also determines a bit, correct, on what you spend money on, what kind of places you visit. That will cost you some money.
Yes,
So
yes.
spend time with the right clique. Is that
Yes.
a key
You are
rounding
made up
point?
of the 5 people you hang out with. That's what they always say.
I also think that the part of, he mentioned that he's unhappy and mildly depressed. Maybe it's also not related entirely to the 100,000. Maybe there are other factors in life that, can be balanced differently.
Yeah.
Building friends is not just about where you spend money together and having a good time. Friendship, there's a lot of intangibles. You can always go to each other's house and it's FOC, right?
That's true. That's true. Like, I mean, similar to your life partners, your other half, if you don't have the same values in terms of finances, then I think it's a bit more difficult. Like, example, you might be a person who save a lot, but your other party is someone who likes to go out, spend a lot of money. Then that's the difference, I guess. So if
There'll
you
be
are
friction.
correct, so if your values are aligned in a way that how you seek enjoyment but yet not have to spend as much money, then I think that's a very good plus point also.
I think the frugalness part must be differentiated from stinginess. If your friends call you out, then you refuse because you want to save money, then maybe that's a bit too extreme already.
Right.
So it's like in this journey of saving up to $100,000, do you feel you have sacrificed too much in that process? You gave up on certain experiences, you cut back on certain outings unnecessarily. In hindsight, maybe you feel you should have participated.
In hindsight, whether I feel I should have participated, maybe not. But I think I choose very specifically, or rather am willing to say no to certain things in life. So I'm more of a person who thinks that spending specific time with particular people is important. Like if let's say I don't want to hang out with someone, I would just say no. I'm that kind of person. So I'm very upfront about it. Like people who know me know me. If you get along with me, then yeah, you get along with me. But I don't think I sacrifice a lot. So in my own journey, I have always traveled yearly. So ever since I was able to earn an income previously doing part-time jobs, every year I'll take a trip to Bangkok, either with friends or with family. And I do spend. So like I mentioned, always like when we try and build our own personal finances, you have to always find the balance. As you mentioned earlier, also you don't want to become a person who becomes stingy with the things that you have in life. At the end of the day, when we amass, the joy or the happiness we receive is also in giving.
Yeah. Agree. It's like, some friends, they count bills too tightly, then it becomes very, stingy in that sense.
Yeah.
But if we are generous, I think it also attracts the right friends to be around us.
Correct. Yes.
Then on your part on traveling, have you calculated a budget? Like how much do you spend a year on traveling?
In the past or now?
Like in the past, maybe just last year, while you're still working full time.
Okay, in the past last year, maybe not that good of a reference, but like the yearly trips to Bangkok itself, per trip will maybe cost like $1,000 for like a few days, 5 days, 4 nights, that kind. So it was those amount that I was already willing to spend on every year. So like Bangkok was a place that was, things are cheap. You can go and have as much food as you want and it will still be cheap. So it's like you expand your monetary value in that way. Yeah.
Yes, I've also heard before, 50, 30, 20 rule, whereby 50 is needs, 30 is wants. You need to force save at least 20. There's some question, where should travel sit? Should it be a need? Should it be a want? What is your gut feeling on how you allocate?
To me, I think it sits in between. But I think like personal finance is very individual, right? If you're a person who is very stressed out at work and everything, and your only enjoyment is that one yearly trip, then I would say it's a need for you. Like if you are able to unwind and recalibrate during that trip to be able to focus on the next half of the year or like the next year, then there's a need for you. But for people who every few months take a trip, then I think there's a one already. Yeah.
Our friends in teaching, they usually chiong in June and December. That's what I see on Facebook also.
Correct. So they only have to will be able to take a holiday during June and December, like the school breaks. Yeah.
Demi, reaching your 100K goal already. I've also seen this question which relates closer to where you are. I've reached my 100K milestone. What is next in life? Maybe you can give your gut feel on how to answer that question.
What is next in life? Well,
After you reach the 100K savings targets.
there was one question people asked me like what's next, or I did share before like the next goal is 100K invested, but I think after thinking about it, right, it could change. Like I'm a person who's I know what I want to invest into, but yet at the same time, like you mentioned a lot on your channels, people our age, we are looking to get a house, which is something that I want to see how I can plan it out also. So how do you balance between the two? Like to stay invested, but yet at the same time build up the savings in order to down pay for a house. Yeah. So I'm at a stage where after amassing 100K, just continue doing what I need to do to be able to earn an income, save as much as I can. But it goes to two ways. One is investments, retirement. This is one pot. And then another one is just how to save up towards a house. For yourself, I mean, back then when you reached 100,000, how was it like for you? Like, what was your goals back then?
I actually reached 100,000 pretty early because I went into sales work very early. So that's a bit on my background. I've shared in a ebook before, How to $1 Million. If I recall, I actually reached it about 24 or 25. But that's because I was in a sales role. So in sales role, you work hard, you get remunerated early. You don't get compensated based on seniority.
Yeah.
So I started working early, and there's actually a backstory. My dad was down with stroke back in my first year of uni. So previously, I wasn't thinking too much about making income. But that event told me that maybe I have some genetics that I could, eventually be forced to early retirement due to stroke or whatever reason. And that's why I realized I needed to take finances a bit more seriously. So that gave me the spur to go and find income. Then that's how I landed in sales jobs. Because sales jobs, the promise is always, hey, you can come here and make income quickly, right? So back then I was young. I took that pitch and went to chiong very hard.
Wow. But by chionging very hard, did you also at the same time like give up on social life?
Oh, definitely there. So maybe I'm a bit closer to the first guy. In uni days, some regrets. I don't have close relationships with my uni friends simply because after school hours, I was doing sales. So my only uni friends that I still keep in touch are those from my secondary school that eventually went to the same accounting course in NTU. I didn't keep in contact or didn't build deep relationships with most of my classmates, and it was a trade-off. That was a price to pay. So I didn't take part in hall games. I didn't build bonds in that sense. So when it comes to adulthood, you look back, hey, how can your friends pool not that big? Maybe there's some price to pay in the journey.
How about now? Like after building your own family, having kids, reaching your own financial goals also, are you contented or happy?
I think kids now take up a lot of my time. The more time you spend with them, you would build a relationship with them. We've seen drama before that parents, they just focus on career and then the relationship is not strong.
Yeah.
I think seeing those morals have taught me that it's important to spend time with kids. So now it's always finding a balance, work, getting success there, and as well as having enough impact on my kids' life. So right now I don't have a maid, which means I have to do all the dish work, spend all the time with them, putting them to sleep. And also back then I didn't have a nanny for both of them. So I was the nanny in some way, which also gave me a lot of confidence in parenting.
Wow.
So that explains a bit on the backstory.
Wow. I mean, like coming back to this Seedly post, if he's turning 30 and still single, what do you think can be his next steps in life in terms of like having this amount of savings? Where else can you go towards in terms of finances?
I think financial part is where he is okay. With that, our sponsor today has a solution. Not only do you have a chance to earn free stocks, you also can keep your monies working harder in Moneybull, which potentially earns you 5.18% per annum yield right now. Let me show you a bit more. Webull right now has this program called Regular Savings Plan, whereby you can actually do dollar cost averaging into your favorite stocks, ETF, or mutual fund at your own pace. Stick with me, I'll demonstrate for you in a quick while. The key advantages of such an approach: you actually buy at your own pace by setting the frequency to what you like. For stocks, the buying is as low as $5. So if you have something in mind, let me demonstrate to you how it actually works. Once you have actually registered your own Webull account, on the homepage, simply look for Regular Savings Plan. Inside it, you can choose which stock you want to purchase and simply key in the amount you want. Again, disclaimer, not investment advice. And I've actually selected every 2 weeks to make this purchase. So if you're keen to sign up for your own Webull account, look for my referral codes below. You'll help this channel a lot and get your free shares today. I think financial part is where he is okay. It's quite obviously other intangibles in life. Maybe it's time for him to prioritize how to improve himself, to attract friends, attract partner, etc., etc. So now it's time for that person to consider how to reshape his approach to life, prioritize that portion, and be willing to unlearn some things. Maybe he is miserable now because he has certain fixed habits. He's become too, I don't know, introverted maybe, if we were to guess. So now it's time to unlearn that. Change your life a bit. Now the finance part looks okay. You have a different problem from some other people. Some people have a lot of friends, but they don't have money.
That's true.
Then everybody's finding the right balance. So for his case, the problems probably are more personal related. And that's where he needs to spend time and make changes. Just like how we make changes towards our own finances. Make changes towards the own personality.
Yeah, that's true. I think with everything in our own life, it's always a balance. You strike a balance between wanting to save up towards your future, but at the same time, the social element, we are all social animals, we can't miss that out. So yeah.
I think that feelingness of being lonely is impacting him in some ways. That's why he says miserable and stuff. Then don't hang on to that cap of, I have 100,000. No. Find the right balance in life.
Well, I think one question I have is, how much is enough? Like down the road, as we go through life, progress through life, 20s, 30s, 40s, how much is enough?
It's a very interesting question that I asked myself also. Previously, I used to think, 100,000 was a lot. Then I realized once you're in 30s, you realize, hey, actually it's not a lot because you can barely buy a house with it. The goalpost will change. It's natural. So there's also another balance in between a goal setting. Goal setting is to keep you motivated in the right direction. Correct? That's the first part of goal setting. But then when you hit there, then it's also good to move the goalpost to the bigger goal. So let that be a first milestone. But at the same time, if you keep moving a goalpost, you'll be always unhappy.
Yeah.
So where's the balance? Should we keep moving a goalpost further and chase imaginary standards for ourselves and keep ourselves unhappy? Charlie Munger has this saying, don't be too envious of people, something like that. Or the world revolves around enviness. And it's like, there's this person with more money, more salary. You think your problem is because of that, but it's actually not true.
Yeah, that's true.
So don't spend too much time on being envious, but move the goalposts accurately. Something you mentioned, house-wise, I think that's good. It solves your long-term safety in terms of where to stay. If you don't want to stay there, you can always rent it out. So it becomes an income source. So that's a good milestone. Then beyond that, I guess it's financial freedom milestones really. In terms of financial freedom, can ask what are your rough numbers now being, right now age 27. How do you view your own financial freedom number?
To be very honest, right, I don't have a huge end goal number in mind. Like my perception have always been striking the nice balance where you can continue doing what you love, continue bringing in an income, and to survive on that, but yet at the same time be able to build a pot. Touch wood, something happens, then you can draw down from there. So if you want me to say, do I have a specific numbers? Actually, I don't have. I'm more towards the do what you love. Because retirement to me is not something like I go somewhere and don't do anything or like just travel the world. But it's more continue to be able to find that passion where you can continue to work on even when you're like 50, 60, 70 years old. Yeah.
Actually, I agree with you a lot in that point. At your life stage now 27. You've worked for a couple of years.
Yeah.
A lot of times experts mention, hey, you should do retirement planning ASAP because compounding 10 years is different from compounding 30 years. That is mathematically correct.
Yes.
I also rebut against that because retirement planning needs you to be more settled in life. You're not in that rapid change mode already. Then you can commit monies long term and talk about 55 and worry about that problem. So right now it's actually normal. Right now you're interested to explore, which is good. Let the full retirement topic become when 39. Then that's where you worry. It doesn't mean don't save. It's just you save, but not the real intention of thinking too much about how am I going to consume it down.
That's true. So I think it's more like now to maybe early 30s to be able to settle in towards life, and then down the road plan towards retirement in terms of having a sum set aside or what is the amount needed. But at the same time, like what you mentioned, to many other people who is listening, don't spend just like that. Always think twice, I think. At the end of the day, we need to be responsible with our own actions also. Yeah.
So listening in, everybody, if you have questions for us, if you reach 100,000 milestone, you're thinking what to do next, leave them in the comment sections. I think we both provide a different perspective. Demi's obviously much younger. I'm probably more in tune with someone who is really worried about retirement. But let us know your questions in the comment sections below. And Demi, thank you for sharing your thoughts also in today's podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I like bringing your point of view because I can't remember how I was thinking when I was 27 already.
Not that far. Interesting thing is we are one cycle apart.
Yeah, one lunar calendar cycle. But smash the like button and we'll together see you in the next episode. Take care and goodbye.